Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back. Today, I am on the motherfucking struggle bus, okay? I done came out my box braids and I tried to give myself a trim and I trimmed my hair all kinds of crazy, y'all. But you really can't tell that much if my hair is curly. So y'all bear with me. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. Y'all got some hairstyle ideas? Send them to me, okay? Because I had to scoop my hair up in this puff for this video. But happy Sunday, y'all. If you are returning, welcome back, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into our review. But let me say what's up to Julia and what's up to Lee Pepper. Y'all are already in the comments, ready to go. That's what I like to see. I'm ready to go because the episodes, okay, y'all know how I like to do. And I have to tell y'all at the beginning of this video, especially for those of you who are watching this hashtag replay game, okay? On Sundays, I used to do one big mashup video. Lately, I find it better to split the videos up. So this video is going to be on Put a Ring on It, the latest episode, season 2. I don't remember what episode that is. And then the next video after this one will follow Love and Marriage Huntsville immediately after. So if you just happen to come across my channel and we're not quite acquainted yet, you may want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You may want to go ahead and turn on your notifications so that way you know exactly where the next video is. What's up, Lindsay Cody? All right, so we'll go ahead and jump into the review. Oh, but before we do that, y'all, I honestly want to know, what did y'all think about the thumbnail? What did y'all think about the thumbnail? Pretends to act shocked, okay? And I think I added that to the title of the video, pretends to act shocked, because were we shocked at all that Darian and Kai had sex? No, we were not. I asked y'all in a video before this even came out, did y'all think that they got physical? And the majority of y'all said, of course they got physical. I think they got physical after that first date, because all it took was date number 1 for them to be hugged up, holding hands, walking into restaurants. And I'm like, damn, you walking around like this is your man. Reason being was because you done already seen what he had to offer, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the review for Put a Ring on It. Give me one hot Okay. Y'all know my allergies like to act up as soon as I hop on live, and I'm not trying to be. One of y'all recommended something for my allergies. I don't remember what it is, but y'all go ahead and help me out. All right. So Put a Ring on It. This episode starts out and the couples have met with Dr. Nicole. What I thought was real funny was that Sean was sitting there joking, saying that he and Dr. Nicole had beef. And really the beef that he's talking about is how Dr. Nicole basically read him and was like, these are tests. You keep saying that the test is too hard, that you don't want to go on it. It's a part of the process, okay? So Dr. Nicole, let me shout you out again. I love Dr. Nicole. She's so smart. She be ready to read. She be real educational. She's extremely educational, y'all, okay? I just love Dr. Nicole, and she's reading every single one of these men. The only one that I feel like she may be a little bit wrong on is Eric. And I'll explain to y'all why later on in the episode. So anyway, the rundown for this week, Sean goes on a second date with Teray. Jessica's supposed to go on another date, but not this week. Eric goes on a second date with Leilani, and Darian meets up with Kai for closure. This week, she just wants Alexia to focus on herself. And y'all, before we get deep into this review, I want to go ahead and take a poll. Who's the bigger clown? Is it Darian or is it Alexia? Is it Darian or is it Alexia? Comment below. Who do y'all think is the bigger clown? This episode, I could not find a single clip of Alexia not smiling. This girl was grinning from ear to ear. And just like Kai said, the issue that you solved was you going on these dates with Kai, but it didn't necessarily fix anything in your relationship. And I swear, if I get another moment of, stupidity, that's what I'm gonna call it, from Alexia, I just want you to marry the man. It's gonna get to a point to where I'm just like, marry the man, new season me please, because I can't take it. The same way I did Paige and Chris. So we'll start off with Sean and LaRonda. So they're in the car and he's basically bringing up the same topic. I really need to test myself. I'm going on dates with different women. And I really think that it's important for me to go on a date with a woman where I'm like, okay, I have to stick my in her, his peen. Okay. He has not had a platonic relationship with an attractive woman anytime he's in a relationship. In other words, he's a serial cheater. He doesn't know how to just be friends with anyone. So yeah, whatever. Cool to see. He claims that Teray is the biggest challenge. And that kind of showed me something about Sean, because I really felt like Brittany, the singer, was going to be the biggest challenge for him, because it seemed like they got along. However, he's calling Teray the most challenging. The reason why I think he's calling Teray the most challenging is because he finds her the most attractive. So I guess she's the most challenging in terms of you keeping your peen in your pants, is what you're saying. Tell me if I'm wrong, Sean. But yeah, that's an issue for me, because it seems like maybe Sean can just get along with anybody. And I really want to know, what is it about LaRonda that has you settled? I just want to know. We know how Sean feels about LaRonda, but what is it with her that has you settled? Because at this point in time, if Brittany wasn't the most challenging and y'all seem to have the deepest emotional and mental connection, but Teray is the most challenging, like, what is it that sets your relationships apart from one another? So y'all got to tell me. Now, as far as that question I just asked y'all, I said, who was the biggest clown? Let's go ahead and get an answer on that, okay? In replay game, y'all be sure to comment below. Tell me who y'all think the biggest clown is. Universal Advocate says Alexia, especially after her live the other day. Okay, I hadn't watched Alexia's live, but my sister definitely gave me the rundown, and she told me it was foolish AF. Julia, my girl, says it was Alexia who's the biggest fool. Fedora honestly cannot choose. Lindsay Cody says Alexia is the biggest clown. Harold says that Darian and Alexia are twinning at this point. Honestly, y'all, in my opinion, the biggest clown for me is going to have to be Alexia for me, because Darian knows how to manipulate her at this point. So anyway, what we pretty much get from Sean and Teray on this date, Teray came in looking real nice, y'all. She's a model. She has a nice little sultry voice with her buzz cut, and she's wearing heels. He says she's really attractive. And, they just have a real regular conversation. One of the things I thought was interesting was that Sean, okay, so Teray says to Sean, what do you like to eat? He immediately starts laughing. I'm like, how childish. But this goes back to him saying that he really can't have a relationship with a woman without it turning sexual, or without, it turning sexual, okay? Because I can't even add nothing to it to fluff it up and make it sound better. But it definitely was about to go down that road. So I feel like he just took the challenge so he could say, okay, I went on my date, I'm done. But ultimately, I don't think that he has changed at all. I have to agree with Harold. Teray looked beautiful. She's so pretty. That's why she's a challenge, okay? Nana P, what's up, girl? You ain't missed nothing. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Jessica and Eric. Today, I'm not drinking the mimosa. Today, I'm just drinking juice because I turned up last night. I went to a pool party. So, Jessica and Eric, okay? Eric, it's his turn to go on another date with Leilani. And y'all, is it just me? Or it's starting to feel like Eric is over Jessica? Y'all tell me if it's just me. But I honestly feel like Eric is thinking beyond Jessica at this point. Anyway, Leilani comes to the house. Eric is excited to get out the house. This dude grinning from ear to ear. Eric is hilarious. He's grinning from ear to ear because Leilani pretty much checks all his boxes. They have interesting conversation. She got them tig old bitties, and she's real pretty. So he's like, okay, I'm ready. Look at the way he's looking at her in this second picture, y'all. And on top of that, she has the accent. So she has that exotic factor, y'all. But they really get along. So anyway, she shows up to the house. She's wearing a snatched black dress. I should have took a better picture of the dress, but the titties was out there. They was hanging out. And Eric couldn't hide his grin at all. So Jessica, she gets especially jealous on this day. She hadn't got really jealous on any of his other dates, but this one she's jealous. Leilani comes in the house. She says, yeah, you didn't tell me she was this pretty. Jessica's acting real troll-like. She goes and she gets a shot glass with a picture of her on the glass in a swimsuit or lingerie, and was like, y'all can drink from me. And that was her way of trying to get back at Leilani, because they had a real cute little feisty moment. Leilani explains that she's an esthetician, and Jessica says, oh, so you can do like a couple's facial for us. And Leilani said, no, I can do his facial. You can book your own. And when she said that, I was like, ah. But y'all know what? I wasn't upset. I wasn't upset at all. I don't want Eric and Jessica together at this point. I don't. And to explain what I was saying at the beginning of the video, y'all, at the beginning of the video, I was telling y'all that I feel like the only person who Dr. Nicole has wrong is Eric. So even whenever, the men talk about, oh, you got pinched, but you didn't feel that. That's definitely Eric's situation. Jessica is playing around, okay? I feel like Jessica loves Eric. Jessica wouldn't mind settling down with Eric. But ultimately, Jessica is trying to secure a lifestyle. In my opinion, from what I've seen. Don't know the girl from here nor there, but I'm telling y'all, this is what I get from Jessica. Jessica's trying to secure, y'all comments just threw me off. Jessica's trying to secure a lifestyle, okay? So I don't want them to be together. And I think Eric knows that that's Jessica's motive. And that's why he asked so many questions. That's why she can't be trusted. That's why when she was talking to another dude in the league and supposedly blocked him, but didn't really block him, Eric was feeling some type of way. I think he has every right to feel that type of way. So Dr. Nicole, I don't know if you're reading Eric correctly, but I do appreciate how she says between Eric and Jessica that they're both one and the same. So y'all, ultimately, this date with Eric and Leilani goes really well. They touchy-feely, and Leilani is actually thinking about a future with Eric. So on the flip side of things, Jessica has her one-on-one session with Dr. Nicole. Y'all, I could be wrong, okay? Because I was talking to my fiance about this episode. He be watching all the shows too. And I said that I felt like Jessica was very much giving, oh, all my life I had to fight because I was a pretty light-skinned girl. That's what I was getting. I could absolutely be wrong, but I feel like I hear that story so often. And growing up, I've never seen that happen for any light-skinned girl who I went to school with. I feel like the light-skinned Black girls with the loose curly hair, they're typically the chosen ones of the Black girls. So for you to have this all my life I had to fight, I don't know about it. I was like, girl, bye. Either way it goes, she says that, she has a mistrust for people. And that's where, everything, her issue stems in her relationships, and she gravitates towards people who like her, don't trust people. So Dr. Nicole ends up telling her, you keep saying that he doesn't trust you, but y'all are typically one and the same, because when we first met, it was you who said he was lying. Now, I see some of y'all in the comments are agreeing with me. I've never seen that experience for the light-skinned girls to be picked on, okay? Lindsay Cody says, I never saw that either, Necey, when I was in school. And Miss B says, yes, that's exactly what Jessica was giving us. Nana says she never seen it either. So I don't know. That type of shit kind of annoys me. Like, oh yeah, it's just so pretty. I had to fight all the time. Okay, whatever. But I mean, everybody has their own battles. If that's a battle you claim, I'm gonna let you have it. That's on you, you know. So anyway, Dr. Nicole ultimately ends up telling Jessica, like, while all what you're saying is really good, you and Eric kind of are doing the same thing to each other, and they kind of leave it at that. So Monique brings up a comment. Monique says DJ Envy's wife got her face slashed for being light-skinned in school. I've never seen it personally, though. Ooh, my goodness. That's a mess. KA says, I personally went through that. Bullied, had to fight people, and had girls hate me just off boys liking me. Okay. That's okay. But I felt like somebody in the comments would have said or would have had a different experience. So that's why I was open to hear what y'all were talking about. For me, I never seen it before, but I'm sure it happens. So yeah, that's pretty much all we got. But ultimately, the way that I'm feeling about Jessica and Eric is that Eric is pretty much over Jessica. Even at the end of the episode, y'all, was it the end of at the beginning of the episode, Dr. Nicole says that your task this week is to have discussions about marriage. And when she says marriage, Jessica gets all giddy and she gets really close to Eric, and Eric just keeps a straight face. I don't think Eric is ready. And you know, if you're not ready, you're not ready. Okay. Time to talk about these fools. I'm done. I'm so done, y'all. Like I told y'all, I couldn't find a single clip of Alexia grinning from ear to ear. Now, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I want the best for you, Alexia. Alexia, I want you to be happy. Okay? But what I can't take is seeing the clown-ish on the screen. I can't take it. So, Darian and Alexia, they're at home. They have conversations about marriage. And this is something that I'm going to kind of mix some things I've seen on YouTube with some things that she's saying on the show, because I found a little bit of inconsistencies, Alexia, and I would love for you to answer the question below. So, they're home talking about marriage. Ultimately, Darian says in his confessional that I'm doing this for her. Ultimately, I get married because she wants to do it. He don't really want to. At this point in time, he feels like if he does propose to her, it's because it's something that she wants, and it's just kind of like, okay, I'm being pressured. Let's get it out the way type ish. So Darian and Alexia are having conversation, and Alexia says, what's your biggest concern going into a marriage? And he goes straight to physical, y'all. His biggest concern is that it's going to be boring, that the sex is going to be boring. And I feel like this is why he continues to keep messing with Kai. He and Kai have great sex, apparently. And he wants to know that if he lets go of Kai, that he's going to have the same great sex with Alexia. Part of me also feels like Alexia probably is not having sex with Darian as much because she knows that he's out in the streets. She knows he's at the condo. And at that point in time, there's a barrier between you and that man. But y'all tell me, does this make sense? For him to go ahead and marry you, but for y'all to not have fixed anything that was a problem beforehand. You think that the condo is just going to stop him from cheating? Like, I don't see a ring ultimately being the savior for y'all's issues. And just because he stopped dating Kai does not mean that he has changed at all, Alexia. You are a smart girl. Quit playing yourself. You are playing mental games with yourself. And like Dr. Nicole said, if you just trust the process and see your way through, then Darian will expose himself for who he is. Oh, Amari Rowe. She says, y'all seen Kai commenting under Darian's son's picture, so I'm assuming she met the family. Oh, I did not know. So pretty much they started talking about what examples of great marriages that they've had. And Darian ends up saying that, you know, He hasn't seen any examples of great marriages. Alexia says on her side of things that she really isn't privy to people divorcing on her side of the family. But y'all, Alexia recently did an interview with Chrissy XO on YouTube. And she explains that the reason why she was in a relationship for 14 years is because people around her were not getting married. So marriage wasn't on the forefront of her mind. So on your YouTube interview after the show has filmed, you're saying that you didn't grow up around marriages. On the show, you're saying that you weren't used to people divorcing. So I guess two things could be true. How are you going to be used to people divorcing if you're not used to marriages? But it just sounds like two conflicting things. If y'all go watch the interview and listen to what she said in this episode, it sounds conflicting. It sounds inconsistent. So anyway, they have conversations. He's excited, saying that, a baby will put some spice in our life. Baby, baby, baby. She's grinning ear to ear. And I'm just like, girl, I cannot. So now Dr. Nicole meets up with the men. And I felt like this was a really fun part of the episode, or really exciting, because it just showed a lot. So Sean says to Dr. Nicole that he feels like she's turning over stones. There's things that they haven't fixed as a couple that she's basically forcing them to face. And Dr. Nicole ends up saying, you know what? Relationships are for grown folks. And this was in reference to Sean asking her, what do I do whenever LaRonda's annoyed and she feels like I'm being overly emotional? That was her basically saying, you had a whole ass hissy fit on date one, throwing up in the bathroom, couldn't finish your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's because relationships are for grown people. And it seems like they need to do the work individually. And that's exactly what she said. I love Dr. Nicole. Come on to the Ooh Ladies First panel so we can talk to you, please. But yeah, another topic that they talk about is how boys are taught not to show emotion. And that's when Darian says to Eric, that's your situation. And I have to agree. I hate to say it. I have to agree. I feel like that's Eric's situation. Jessica is moving a certain way, but anytime Eric brings up like, hey, I know you're talking to other dudes. Hey, I know you're entertaining other people. He's reprimanded. Oh, why don't you trust me? So I definitely think that's his situation. And then this fool Darian, y'all. He basically says to Dr. Nicole, Alexia has given me an ultimatum. She wants to basically break up if I don't propose to her at the end of this process. So he says, help me feel better about basically getting engaged to her, even though I feel like we aren't ready yet. Dr. Nicole says, wherever you've decided that you're comfortable, you've already anchored to. Whatever thing you have told yourself is illogical, but you sticking by it. Basically, I can't do anything to make you feel better about proposing to Alexia when at the end of the day, you know that that's not what you want to do. So Darian takes her advice and he hears her, and that's when he goes, ooh, yeah. Then on top of that, he feels like it's unfair for Alexia to take back her time and say that she doesn't want to spend it with Darian. Darian is insane. Alexia has every right. She is well within her right to decide that she wants to leave at the end of the 14 years. For him, he says, well, that's my 14 years too. Okay, y'all are two different people. She needs to leave at this point. And then he ends up in the confessional saying, it's getting real because I've never imagined Alexia without me. He never says, I never imagined my life without Alexia. He says, I never imagined Alexia without me. Sir, I can't. So at the end of the meeting with all the guys, Dr. Nicole says, here's another bonus point. I don't believe that everyone should be married. So y'all do with that what you please, is what she says, because they are the drivers, definitely. Okay, we will move on to the last couple, because that's what they are. We're going to call them a couple, okay? So now it's time for Darian and Kai. He decides. When I say decides, I mean the show called for him to meet up with her after 10 days of ghosting. And whenever she walks in, he's reaching out for a hug. She immediately hits him with that handshake. And we find out that he's ghosted her for 10 days. It's been over a week at this point. He basically says, you know, I just want to keep it peaceful. I called you here because I didn't want to disrespect you. And she says, well, I've already been disrespected. You haven't hit me up for 10 days, yada, yada, yada. Darian, number one, you full of shit. You can't even keep your eyes open. I ain't never trusting no man that can't look me right in the eye. You do all this talking, leaning back, looking in the sky, closing your eyes, rubbing your hands. You can't just sit and talk. So yeah, it's definitely something going on. So Kai, I feel like you dodged a bullet. Let her keep that man, please. I don't see anybody coming on the show and feeling comfortable walking away with somebody who has a fear of commitment, which is what Darian has. So you dodged a bullet, leave him where he at. And I feel like the only reason why Kai ended up not looking foolish was because she exposed him and said, oh, well, you didn't say that when we were having sex. But I sort of feel like if Darian had chosen Kai, she would have wanted to go with him. And in the end, Kai would have been looking foolish instead of Alexia. So it's literally just a hot potato back and forth between who's going to look the most foolish. Is it Alexia or is it Darian or is it Kai? So as long as you leave that man where he's at, you will be good to go. I am actually glad that you exposed this man because what was you supposed to do? Take one for the team? No, I don't think you were supposed to. So she explains to him, like, I know you're saying that things are peaceful at home, but y'all fixed y'all's problems as far as me. What about all the other stuff? He basically doesn't answer the questions. And she says, okay, well, you wasn't worried about that whenever you slept with me. And then all of a sudden you just hear this, like a gut punch from Darian. And honestly, can the season end, y'all? Can the season end? I don't want any of these couples to get married at all. Let me see what y'all talking about in these comments. M. Burns says, what was Kai expecting? Y'all, honestly, I think that Darian was telling Kai behind the scenes that they would be together. She just had to wait the course of however many weeks the show was being filmed, and he was going to choose her in the end. And I think that's what she was expecting. Hate to see it because Darian is not the one. I can't. Nana says, I knew they had been contacting each other outside the show when they were on that date. He said, who will I talk to? Who will help me? How much can you talk on those dates? Exactly. And like I said earlier in the video, after the first date, they were all over each other. They were hugged up as if they were a couple already. So, yeah, they definitely had something going on, y'all. And like I always tell y'all, let me move over to my little picture. Bloop, bloop. Do me a favor and like the video, y'all. Like the video. Because y'all know what we about to do after this one. After this, we're going to go on over to the other streaming link. And we're going to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. So y'all go ahead. Like the video. So yeah. Julia. Let's see what you're talking about, girl. Julia says, getting him to propose is not going to change who he is. I would leave him like the two Film Off songs were about. Well, you know, Alexia is really giving us So What by Sierra featuring Film Mob. That's exactly what Alexia is giving us. Lindsay says, how many more episodes are there? I think it's 2 more episodes. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 2. But y'all, that's all I got for Put a Ring on It. Y'all want to meet me on the other video, which is Love and Marriage Huntsville. So make sure y'all subscribe, turn on your notification bell, or just go to my YouTube channel page where we're going where we are going to be going live from there. Okay. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's go ahead and talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville.